Welcome to Real Shanghai Mathematics Practice Book 4.1, and this is the Unit 4, and it's called the 4 Operations on Whole Numbers. It's quite a large topic and has 7 sections, so without waste, let's move on to the first section. Photo here isn't great, that's the one, but it's called work rate, work time, and work amount. So let's move on to question 1. Work time is 3 months. Work amount is 387 fridges in total. So the work rate is always going to be work amount divided by the time. Rate is always usually to do with time. That's why it says per month, per day, etc. So you have to work out 387 divided by 3. And if you want to work out the work amount, then it's the other way around. And sometimes it's useful to create a triangle when you have this to try and help you to work out which way around to do it if you're struggling to remember. So you can always, and based upon the units, draw a triangle. Let's draw a triangle like this. So, and we know that the rate, work rate, so perhaps I should just put rate here for our rate, is going to be the work amount. So work amount divided by the time. Okay, so rate is work time divided by, when you're going this way from top to bottom, is divided by time. And when you got the other one, which is going to be working at work amount is the rate times by time. Again, just double check that the units should be the same, otherwise the answer won't be right. But at this stage, I don't think they should be confusing you. So the unit should be the same, but just always double check. For example, what I mean by that is it says per day, so the work time needs to be in days, and it's parts, so the amount should be in parts as well, so they should be sort of matching. And then work time is going to be work amount divided by the rate, and so on. And work rate, we're already familiar with that, per minute, so that should be straightforward. Moving on to question 2. So we just jump onto 2C and look at that. And what does that say? So the numbers, how have they done it? Okay, so those are the parts and then times together. So the work amount should be at the bottom. At the time, it could be assembled 24. How many cards did you assemble per hour? So per hour, how are they doing these diagrams? Tree diagram to help you work out. So as I say, I would use these triangles to help you work it out. But I'm assuming for the ones they've drawn, they want the rate and the time at the top and the work out before, because those two together give you that. That's why I assume. So I would put 24 cars in 6 hours would be in one bit, and start at the time it could produce 24 6 hours per hour. Okay, so this is slightly different than what I thought. But anyway, straightforward. I'm not sure what they mean by these diagrams, but anyway, you should be able to work it out. So if they could produce 24 cars in 6 hours, then it's in 1 hour, how much would it be? So obviously, in 1 hour, will there be less than 24 cars? And obviously, because of less time, so it will be 24 divided by 6. Okay, divided by 6, and that will be how much in 1 hour. And in 2 hours, that'll be that amount you worked in 1 hour. You can times that by 2, and so on and so forth. Although they didn't ask you that. We call the amount of work per hour, per minute, per day, and so on. We call that rate. I assume that's what they're referring to. Question requires work time, work time. Okay, so they're just giving you an idea of what it is. So this question requires 40 kilograms of pastries. How many kilograms does the baker make in 12 days? So if you make in 12 days, so that'll be the total amount, work amount. Okay, because you're gonna have to do the 40 kilograms of pastries per day. So the 40 times by 12, and so on and so forth. Question page 44, question 4. Let's have a look at these. Let's go with 4C. Electronic shop sold 54 cameras 6 days. The shop sold 6 more tablets than cameras per day. How many tablets does the shop sell per day? So per day. First, we need to work out how much is per day. So 54 cameras in 6 days. So 54 divided by 6. That will give you how much in 1 day. And if you know your times table, then you're familiar with the 54 is in the 6 times table. So that's 9. The shop sold 6 more tablets than cameras per day. So that'll be 9 plus 6, because 6 more. So, and that'll be the answers for that. Level B, as I say, can be trickier. So do try those. If you're stuck, then we can go through them, or it's just an optional. Which one shall we do? Is just do question 1. Mr. Roberts can take 7 teddy bears per hour. Miss Lee can take 30 in 5 hours. If they work together, can they make 50 teddy bears in 5 hours? So we need to work out the rate. So the first one has been done, 7 bears per hour. Miss Lee, we need to work out. Okay, Miss Lee is already making 30 in 5 hours. Different ways of doing it, but the easiest way I think it is 7. If 7 teddy bears are made in an hour, then in 5 hours they'll be able to make 7 times 5 is 35. And the other one's already making 30. So it's 30 plus 35, that's how much will be made in 5 hours, which is more than 50. And so that would be possible. And then moving on to the second part, which is called 3-step calculations. Let's see if I can find it here. Yep, 3 steps calculations, and they're showing you how to do this. So this is it has been done before, but that's how to do it. So if you're doing 3 times 5 equals 15, and then you add the 4 afterwards, and that's how you do it. Okay, so that's how you would do it if you're working out. Last one was a little bit like that. So how you do it. So 2 times 7 is 14, and so on and so forth. Combine the 3 sentences into one number sentence. Okay, so the first one we can combine it by doing 3 times 5 plus 4. Okay, and that would be okay, then plus 5. So 3 times 5 plus 4, and then plus 5. The first one would be, and I would get in the habit of, although BidMath you would be the right order, you do the times first, I would get in the habit of just putting brackets in there. So it would be 3 times 5, put that in the brackets, because that's what we want to be done first, and so on and so forth. And that's how you do it. And let's do 1C. So 1C, 8 take away 2, that's the first thing we do. Okay, they're going to be times. So you do 8 take away 2 in brackets, and then that would be a 6. That would be 8 take away 2, and then times by open brackets 1 plus 3 close brackets. So hopefully you can see that that's how they've done that one. So yeah, interesting. Hopefully you can see that. So you need to look at all of the information and then see how they got it. You got the 6 and you 4, then you look at the last one, how did they utilize that, and then based upon that you can put the first 2 in brackets and then times them together. Use the number in the boxes to write number sentences. So the answer of each of them is 24. Hint, draw tree diagrams to help you work out the answers. Number sentences. So yeah, however you guys want to do it. So you can do just try it and see how you get on. So you can do 4 plus 4 plus 4 is 12. Okay, and then add 12. That's 24. So it could be straight away like that. There are different ways of doing it. What about D? Shall we do 2D? Okay, 2D. So you can try various ways and see how you get on with that. So how can we do this one? So again, you have to play around with some of these, so they will take a little bit longer. And if you get stuck, then let me know. But what are the possibilities here? We can get 35 and then take away, it would have to be 11, no, 8, 6 is 48, 48. Okay, right, so these are a bit more trickier. Or is it just a case of just adding them together? 7 plus 5 is 12. 12 plus 8 is 20, and that'll be 26. So no, so 2D is a bit more trickier. And the way to possibly do this is, so okay, I had to pause this. It takes a little bit longer to work it out. So one of the ways to look at it is 24. So one number, 2 multiplications give you 24. Well, 4 times 6 gives you 24. So I'll keep the 6 there, and then we need the other ones to get us to a 4. And the way to do that would be 7 plus 5, which is 12. 12 take away 8, which is a 4, and then that in brackets is then times by 6. Fine. Talk about the order. Question 3. Just reminding you about BidMath. So remember again, brackets is always first, and then after that times divides, and after that is your plus and takeaway. So let's just do 3H. 33 times by 24 take away 22 take away 9 take away. So brackets are first, and within the brackets you do those first. So the inside brackets is done first. 22 take away 9 is done first. which will give us how much? That will give us 13. Yeah, that'll give you 13. 24 take away 13 is 11, and then it'll be a case of 33 times by 11, and so on and so forth. And question 4 of various questions, apply your knowledge. We'll do the last one to see how it is in case that's the hardest one. So 4I, which is on page 49. For a visit to an aerospace exhibition, 180 people are divided into two groups. The first group is split into 5 teams. The second group is split into 4 teams. Each team has same number of pupils. How many pupils are in the first group? So first group is split into 5 teams. Second, each team has first group is split into 5 teams. So the important bit is each team has the same number of pupils. So when it's split into 5 and 4, so altogether will be 9. So if each of them has 9 teams, then each team will have to each team has the same number. Then have to be 20 in each one. 880 divided by 9. So there'll have to be 20 in each one. And so the first group, which is split into 5 teams, will be 20 times by 5, which is 100. That's my understanding of that question. And level B, as I say, these are trickier ones. Again, the order has been explained to you, so you guys can try that. Again, brackets first, then divide and multiply are the same level. So the first one I would do is 23550 plus 150. Work that one out, then divide that by 20. Work what that is at, and then times that by 2. Then when all of that is done, then it'll be 500. Take away that, because as you say, brackets first, divide and multiply on the same line, and so you go in order, and then addition, take away, again same line, and we do that last in this case. When calculating question 2, didn't the addition before the division, what is the difference between the answer and the correct answer? So you can work out the answer the way Dylan said it, and the correct way would have been is 2422 divided by 22. Then we add the 198, and then you've got question 3. You also have question 4, which is a 4, which is a possible answer. So those again optional for you guys. Again, level B's are much more difficult. Okay, so I've seen moving on to 3, and this 3 will help us in terms of knowing what they meant by those diagrams. So it's got 3, which is called working forward, and so the middle bits are called times. Okay, so you can work these ones out. 23 times 16, work what that one out is, and then that number, take away 72, will be your answer. So you can do number sentence will be 23 times 16, and then that number added, take away 72, and then that will give you that. And question C, again, we can do 63 times 7. That will give us an answer there. 279 divided by 9. That will give us an answer there. Then add those two together, and that will give you your C. So it's a way of knowing what to do. And then you got 2A and 2B. So just showing you input and output and how to do it. And then 2 diagrams, another way of doing it. So 16 times 70 first. And then that number divided by 5 is the next answer, and then that number you take away 98, and that'll give you a final answer, and so on and so forth. Question 3, let's just pick one of these. We'll do the last one. 3C, a school is planting trees. The year 5 pupils planted 24 trees. This is double the number of trees that the year 3 pupils planted. The year 4 pupils planted 6 more trees than year 6. How many trees did the year 4 pupils plant? Okay, and if you read all of that, anybody, even myself, I'm very confused just by reading. You can't, so you have to just take all of these and put them into smaller steps, and that's what your child needs to do. So first of all, you need to work out. So we know year 5 pupils planted 24 trees. This is double the number of trees year 3 purpose. That means year 3 planted half of that. That's 12. The year 4 probably 6 more trees than year 3. So the 12 plus 6, that's 18. How many trees did the year plus? So you can see steps by step. So it's teaching you to break the question into steps and do it that way. And then question 4 again should be straightforward. 9,000 divided by 45. Use the bus stop method, and then you take away 14 after that, and then the answer, whatever you get, divided by 31, and you should get an answer. And then level B, it sounds like, okay, so you just need to utilize that, put them into there, and use the information and to work it out. So level B are usually trickier. So 850 divided by 2. Let's see, why is that so? Okay, donated year 1, year 2 donated 850 books. Year 3 people donated 30 more than half, 30 more than half. So you work that one out, then you add 30, and that'll give you 30 more. Therefore, donated 940, 900, 290 fewer than the twice the number donated by. So you then first of all have to uh, times it by 2 and then take away 290. The year for donated 63 fewer, and then the few 6, and then take away 63, and something along those lines. Should be straightforward. Well, not straightforward, level B is that much harder, but try it, see how you get on with it, and if you get stuck, you can let me know, or the say level B are optional in many ways. And then moving on to working backwards, which is the fourth topic here, working backwards. So similar to before, so I'm not going to spend too much time on here. But working backwards means you start from 9 divided by 9, which is 1. Take that 1 there. No, so not that way around. So what number divided by 9 equals 9? That's how we understood. So that's going to have to be 81. And then you got what number times by 3 gives you 81. So it'll be 81 divided by 3, and that will be your answer if you understood this correctly. Again, these are that's my understanding of what these are referring to. So let's pick up, do 1F, which is on page 57. So again, if that's right, what I've understood, then the way to do this will be 2 times what number gives you 30, that'll be 15. Okay, then 3 plus what number gives you 15, that'll be 12. 2 times what number gives you 12, that'll be 6. So the question mark will be 6, my understanding. Right, correct number is question 2, that should be fairly straightforward. Question 3, prior knowledge. What is the mass of the ghost? Again, try that. Question B, a little bit more trickier. So you have to work with these a little bit backwards to be able to do it. Again, if your style struggles, not to worry. As I say, they are harder. So question 1 would be, first you have to times by 18. Again, this is basically you have to work backwards to work it, which is what they were showing in the last topic. So we have to times by 18. If we times by 18, 509 times by 18, and times by 18 both sides, the divided by 18 disappears, no longer there. So times 18 by both sides. And then once you know for 509 times by 18, then we take away 1070 from there, and that'll give you a number. And then whatever that number is, then we divide it by 289. So we're basically working backwards and doing the sort of opposite thing. So divided by 18, we times it by 18. Instead of add 170, we take away 107 to get to there, and to get to the answer, we divide it by that, and so on and so forth. Okay, so yep. And the one after that, potentially even more trickier than that. So 408, take away what's in the bracket will give you 290. So that bracket must be equal to 408, take away 2090, and that'll be your first step. Then 222, take away whatever that is in there gives you that. So that number, whatever you find out, you have to take away 222. That'll give you an answer, and then from there, what number add 3 gives you that. If you follow that, then you've done amazing. But it's a bit tricky just to say it rather than go through it, and we don't really have much time. As I say, level Bs are much harder, and you could try the other ones, which are again optional, much trickier. Might need to take some care doing it. And if you really are keen on doing it and getting stuck, then let me know, and we can go through those specifically as an addition. But as I say, this is a big topic, so moving on to the next one, and solving word problems, which is the fifth part. So what's been learned to just changing it into writing, sort of useful, because you need to be aware of certain terms. Some terms we don't need to know, and I'll let you know because it doesn't really come up in GCSE, and that's the real aim of the outcome. Obviously, divide we need to know, subtract we need to know. So there we go. Divide that number by that. So do that and then subtract, and what's the answer? So it should be straightforward. So 4536 divided by 27 in brackets, we'll find that answer, and then take away 54. Divide the sum of, so sum, remember the sum and the difference, so sum of 75 plus 25, and that answer, which is 100, you're going to divide that by 50. Why? Because that's the difference between 75 and 25, because difference is 75, take away 25, that's how you work out difference by take away one from the other. Question 2, which one shall we do? Let's do 2C. Quotient is just the answer when you're doing divisions. So difference of 5 is divided. So difference of that. So you take 5400, take away 2840, work that out, then divide that by 16, and that'll give you an answer, and that will be that. And then question 3D, multiply 172 by the difference between 88 and 78. So the difference between 88 and 78 is 10. And we times that by 172, so that's going to be 1720. Then after that, we add 28, and that will give you an answer. And then question 4 is that's what we do, and what's that referring to? So which one shall we do? We'll just do the bottom bit. From 64, subtract the quotient of 32 divided by 16. So that the quotient again means the answer. So it'll be 32 divided by 16 will be in the brackets, and 64 subtract the 6. So it'll be 64 take away, and 32 divided by 16 it will be in the brackets. And if it's not in the brackets, it's not a problem. It's an easy answer because we know in terms of order we have to divide first, so we still get the same answer. But for when you're working, you have to put in brackets because you don't want to take the extra step of thinking about it. But you need to be aware of the bottom mass which we have covered before. And then we got level B. Try that. It might be hard or not so hard. We just write a word problem based upon that. Optional. I would just work out the answer if you don't want to do a word problem at the end of the day. It's just an exercise. Magic secrets we're not going to cover. Probably never. But if you're keen on doing it, please go ahead and do it. And then moving on to the sixth part, which is called number laws. So let's see what this is about. Number laws. So what they mean by that is, for the first one, communicate. Okay, I'm not a fan of these at all. You don't need to remember the name of the laws. So if you just check the answer, just write the answer. That's fine. The point is only that addition. Just remember, you can add in any shape and form you want to. So make yourself easier by doing 340 plus 660. Makes it easier because the addition of those would be 1,000 and makes it easier than to do it. Okay, so just be aware of those. Again, when you times, you can times in any order. Again, they've done similar things to do that. What the names of it is, I'm not sure what they're referring to, those names. So that's not as important. Just be aware of the law itself in terms of utilizing it for your own favor. Write the correct numbers and letters in blank. So question 2, which one shall we do? Let's do 2B. Okay, so 18 plus 64 plus 82. Because they're all additions, we can then do in any order. So then 64 plus 82 plus 18. Okay, because 82 plus 18 is 100. And so the different ways of doing it, again, 58 times 26 should be straightforward. Question F. Okay, again, 125 times by 9 times by 8. These are all times, so you don't even need the brackets really there. You can do it in any order. So that's why they're taking the 9, add 125 times 8. Why? Because that's going to be 1,000. A plus B. So, and we can represent those as numbers, as letters. Okay, those letters represent numbers. Don't get too worried about what they stand for. All we're saying is the order of addition makes no difference. So A plus B is always the same as B plus A. A times B the same as B times A, and they're just emphasizing that. And again, A plus B plus C you can do in any order. So you can change it around, put whatever in there. There's many different ways of doing it. You can put A, you can put B plus, and then A plus C and so on. And again, times can do any order. So I can put B at the front, B times A times C. Again, order, any order. They just want to see that you're familiar with that. Okay, and then you've got commutative law and addition law. Right, don't see the point of that. Just basically go ahead, do the questions, and work out the answers. Question 4, page 64. Again, go ahead and do the answers. Should be fairly straightforward. 16 times 25. Word problems. 5B. Shall we do one day? Science and Technology Museum sold 295 tickets in the morning, 374 tickets in the afternoon. The next day, so how many tickets were sold together? So you're just adding them together, if I've understood it correctly. And level B, again, work them out so you can move them around and see which one's easier. And so on and so forth. I mean, I'm not sure how they're doing it. I mean, there are different ways of doing it. So perhaps we'll do level B because perhaps this is what they want, which is quite complicated, really. But if you can get a head around it, it's not a bad way of doing it. So let's do A 25 times by 16. And these are just tricks really to make it easier for you to be able to do it. And if you can get your head around it, it's a really good skill because maths is really a lot about manipulating numbers. So what we can do is this one here, we can call that's the same as times by 8 times 2. Perhaps I should have written it the other way, but hopefully you can get it. Which is the same as 2 times 8. So what we can do, 20. So that's the same as 25 times 8 times 2 times 125. And you said you can do in any order when it's time. So what we can do is 25 times 2. That'll be 50. And the times are still there because it's times. And we can do 8 times 125, which is 1,000. Right? So then it's 50 times 1,000. Then it's much easier because we're adding zeros. So that's 50,000. So that's what they're referring to, really. Let's see how you get on with that. Again, you could do something similar with 250 times 36 times 2. If you take out the 4 and then 9 times 12, and you got 25 times 250 times 4, which is 1,000, and 98 plus 999, different ones there. Again, easier way to do that, if you want to do, is 100 take away 2 in brackets plus 1,000 take away 1, and then you can add all the additions together, and then you can just take away the numbers afterwards, which again is an easier way of doing it rather than putting all of those in a column method and work it out, which would be much harder. Moving on to page 66, again, I think you're learning more about that. 1A should be straightforward. B, again, just work out the answer. I'm not sure what the laws are, and you don't need to know the laws. I've never learned it in their life. This is the first time hearing about these particular laws. Not important. The important bit is to be able to manipulate the numbers. Question 2 is optional for you guys. Yeah, so we've done this before, actually. I don't know which law that shows, but we have done this before. So they're just giving you examples there. Question 3, 3G. Let's do 3G. So that's the A plus B times C is the same as A times C plus B times C. Okay. Which one should we do? A particular one. So let's just pick, okay, page 67. 5J. So that's the same as, because they both are times by 93, that's going to be same as 685 brackets, take away 385, close brackets, times by 93. Okay. Again, if you're getting confused, we can, because timesing 93 times 385 is the same as 385 times 93, and they're both the same there. So please do pause and go back to what I've said if it's confusing. And then 125 times 16 times 8, again, different ways of doing it. I've split the 16 into 8 times 2. And so that'll be 125 times 8, which is 1,000, and then 2 times 8 is 16, and then 16 times 1,000 should be fairly straightforward. 6, which one should we do? 6B. Primary school buys 72 sets of desk chairs, each desk £68, each chair costs 32. How much does school need to pay for all the desks? So we do 68 plus 32, work that out, and then times that by 72, because that would be one set. And then level B, again, they're trying to teach you ways of doing it. So we do D. Let's do D, if we can get a head around that. Okay, so they're all 79, 79, 79. So what I'll do is I'll do 78 times 79. Remember, take away 79, that's still in the 79 timetable. So that's 79 times 1 plus 22 times 79. So what I would do, that means is 70. So all of those are going to be times by 79. So something in brackets times by 79, and that bracket would be 79, take away 1 plus 22. So you work that out, and then you can times that by 79. So that's the different way of doing it, and may make it easier rather than doing lots of calculations. And then moving into page 70, again, 202 times 99, that's the same as 202 times by 100, take away 1. And there we can do, because 2 times it by 100 is easy, just add 2 zeros, and then we can have to take away 202 at the end to work that one out. And question 2F, shall we do? 84 times 25. So which law shall we do? I'll split the 84 into a 4 times something is 84. What's that? 4 times 21. So that'll be 100 times 21 there. So again, listen to what I've said if it's getting stuck, and you can see how I've done it. And you should, because these are in level B now, your child should be getting good at this. You might need a little bit of help, but hopefully your child's getting good at these, because there's a lot of practice in here. And we'll just do 2J, 35 times 35. Okay, let me write this down. Let me write this in case you guys are getting confused by what I'm talking about. So we'll do just this particular one. 35 times by 35 plus 35 times by 66, then take away 35. So all these three are in the 35 times table. What I mean by that, that's 35 times something. This is 35 times something. And even 35 is out with 35 times something because 35 times by 1. Okay? So then so all of these are by times by 35. So I can put times by 35. And then because adding takeaway, I can put those in a bracket and work out what that is first. So that's going to be 35 plus, this is 35 because it's times by 35. Make sure, okay, not this number because this is times by 35. It's a number which is times by 35. So this is 66. And then again, take away 1, okay? Because this, remember, this is the same as 35 times by 1. The answer will be exactly the same. So we're going to be take away. Why take away? Because we got take away here. Why was addition? Because addition was there. Take away 1. So you can work this one out, right? And that's 100. That's what they're doing this to show you. If you can get your head around this, it's a much quicker way of doing it. But obviously, sometimes numbers are not like this. But the main thing you're learning is manipulation of numbers, which is extremely useful. Although later on you're going to be using calculators, just being familiar with being able to manipulate numbers is a really good skill to be able to have. Okay, so that's going to be 100. Let me check here. 35 take away 1 is 34. 34 plus 6 is 100. 100 times 35. Then we know times by 100 is easy. We just add 2 zeros. So 3,500. Okay, and moving on to some more ones because this is a very long topic, so we won't cover all of it. Again, true and crosses, so you should be fairly straightforward with that. 25 times 40 plus 8 is not the same as 25 times 4 times 12 because that would have been 25 times by, oh, actually it is 20 because that would be the same as 24 times 48, so that is the same. Um, yeah, and we just split that up. So yeah, that is the same. Okay, level B, draw lines to match the number sentences on both sides. So again, being familiar with those, 199 times by 99 is the same as 199 times by a 100. Where are we? Draw lines to match the numbers on both sides. So 199 times by a 99 plus 99, that'll be 200 times by 99. 200 times 99 plus 99 would be 200 and, what is that, 201? Yes, it'd be because 299 times by 99. Then you add another 99, that'll be 201 times 99. Yes. Okay, and so on and so forth. So sometimes it needs to take a little while to work this out. And the last one will be called and is problem solving. And it'll be the last one here in this very big topic. So yeah, just converting what's been written into words and then finding it out. We got method 1 and method 2. I'm not a fan. We choose whatever method you're keen on and just go ahead with it. Let's just do question. Which one should we do? Let's go question 2. A school bought 15 whiteboards, each cost 64. School bought 8 more whiteboards. How much did they cost? So it just means you do 15 times by 64 plus 8. Okay, because the total, um, yeah, because, well, 15 plus 8 first, then, because that's the total number of whiteboards, and each got 64 then times by 64. And then from working it out, you might want to split those up into a way to be able to do it easy if you want to, or just do the long multiplication. It's not a problem. Question 3, as it's saying, you step by step, draw lines to match. Yeah, draw lines to match what's going on there. Which one shall we do? Question 11. Let's do 11, page 75. Hotel buys 5 lamps and 4 small tables for 900. Each small table costs £80. What does one lamp cost? So we'll have to do 900 divided by, sorry, okay, no. Each small table costs £80. So if we bought 40 times 8, that will give you the small table's cost. Yes, and then you for 40 times 8, what, 320? So 900 take away 320, whatever the answer is, then divide, because that's the cost of the lamps, and then divide that by 5. So very useful to be able to do these, because at the end of the day, maths is to be able to solve problems, and most problems are going to be in words in terms of what they come, rather than you're going to see calculations hanging around. It's real life problems sometimes, and those are word problems. or you need to formulate them into word problems. Question 15, which is page 77. A shop has boxes of oranges that weigh 500 kilograms in total. There are 3 more boxes of oranges than boxes of bananas. Each box of orange has each box has how many kilograms bananas does the shop have? Okay, so you read it first, and then you underline the important bits, and then you work it out. So there are 3 more boxes of oranges than boxes of banana. So first of all, we need to work out how many boxes there are of oranges. Each box of oranges has mass of 20 kilograms. So we do 500 divided by 20. That'll give you the number of boxes of oranges. Then there are 3 more boxes of oranges. The shop has boxes of oranges that way. Okay, so 3 more oranges. So you work out how many boxes there, then you take away 3, that'll give you that number of bananas boxes. Each banana, then you times that by 26, and that'll give you how many kilograms of bananas you have. So step by step, so you get your head around it. And then you got level B, which are probably going to be even harder, so you can try that. And if you want help, then let me know. Shall we do question 2, or just look at it? I might not be able to just do it. Diagram shows plan of Alex's living room floor. Rectangular square tiles in the middle are covered by a carpet. The area of the uncovered square tiles is 6,300 centimeters. What is the area of the whole living area? Okay, it's the rectangle. The square tiles are covered by a carpet. The area of the uncovered square tiles is that much. So you're gonna have to work out the number of square tiles there are. Divide that by 6,300 divided by the number of square tiles. That'll give you the area, and then you can have to 2 numbers times by themselves give you that number. So you have to square root it. So whatever that number is, what number, because the square sides are the same. So that will give you one of those sides, and then with that you can work out the total length, because you know the width, and then times